Hey golf people, on today's episode I'm playing with a brand new smartwatch from the fine folks at Bushnell. This is the Ion Elite. It is, to me, just a watch that does all of the basics really well. On today's episode I'm going to walk you through a few holes of golf here. We're going to play them together. I'm going to show you the features of this watch. There's not a ton of them, but what they do have, they do it very well. Now the first thing I'm going to cover here, and I often don't talk about this, is price. I think this watch sits at a very attractive price point for a lot of folks, and the reason is it's a much better watch than the budget options that currently exist on the market. And while it doesn't have a ton of next level features, it's a few $100s less than those really top dogs. So to me it really sits in the perfect place, and that's why I've been really excited to test this thing out. I've actually taken it to Ireland on my Ireland trip. Those videos are coming soon, by the way, so hit subscribe now. But in Ireland it performed flawlessly. I picked up all the courses that I played. I didn't have to wait for satellites to hit very long, and the distances I were getting were verified by the caddies I was playing with. So I'm back out here on my home course the day before a major hurricane that's about to hit here in Tampa. But the YouTube algorithm doesn't sleep, and that means neither can I. I've prepared the house. We are ready for the storm. And right now we've got the calm before the storm out here on the course. Let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and swipe left here, and you can see we've got golf. If we hit that button, we are going to grab the satellites. Now, I'm gonna do this in real time here for you as well, so we can see exactly how long it takes for this watch to pick up the satellites. While we're doing that, let me talk to you about the form of this watch. This is a $200 watch, and I'd say it probably still punches a little bit above its weight class, although it's not super premium in terms of the materials used. This band is nice, but certainly not as nice as some of the ones that we've had. But the nice thing about this band is you can literally swap it out very easily and put any kind of band you'd want on there. There we go. We just got the courses here, and as you can see, there's a list of the different nines at this club where we're sitting. And here at Carrollwood we have 3 nines. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose the Pine 9 because that's where we're at. And we are going to go ahead and load up the course. As you can see, the GPS is bouncing around a little bit, so as we're locking onto a better signal, we're getting some updated numbers. We're down to 494 to the center of the green. We've got 479 to the front, 506 to the back. Now, up here, we've got an overview of the hole, and I gotta say, it's a pretty nice one. Pretty good in terms of detail, and we can punch in there to see how far we need to carry the water. And as we punch in here, again, you can see more features of this hole. Just hit those minus buttons to get out of there. So you can see where all the bunkers are, all that good stuff. One click of that button brings us back to our main screen. We can go here to see some of the hazards. So to clear the water there, we've got 189 yards to clear that water on the left side. And there's actually water up on the right side, I think 240, but that's really out of range. If we hit that water, we're gonna be off the course. And you can see there's some bunkers and things up further. But that view will give you that. This view is gonna give you green view. This here is the green view, and you can actually set where the flag is. I'm too far away from the flag to know exactly where it is right now. So we'll do that as we get a little bit closer again. And then down here, this is where your scorekeeping is going to be. So we'll show you that as we progress. Let's hit a shot here and see how this thing does. So if we want to measure shot distance to know how far a ball traveled, we can go ahead and just swipe left there. And you can see you've got this flag stick that looks like a ruler. No roll out of that shot. We're coming up to our ball here, and that was a blistering 212 yard drive off the tee. You can see I am in a good spot here. Now the watch here telling me 276 to the middle there. I've actually brought my rangefinder here, and looking through this, it does look like it's kind of a back pin. I'm getting 279. On the watch here, 288 is the back, 276. So it should be kind of between middle and back, probably a back pin, but we'll verify that as we get up there. Now I actually find this watch to be a very bright watch. I actually have it set at 5 maximum brightness, but it's very nice and clear. It's even better, I would say, than some of those Garmin watches like the S42 and S62. It's not quite as good as that Epic screen though. That really is, in my opinion, the best screen when it comes to golf watches. But this is probably a close number 2. It's probably around the Sky Caddy level. It's a really good, bright, clear screen and the colors really pop on it. Now let's hit a good shot here. On this watch, what I'm gonna do is set the flag here, because now I know exactly where it is, obviously, but if we set the flag to where this flag is, I'm getting like 107. All right, so as you can see, I hit that pretty much pin high. And that pin also pretty much exactly where it said it would be when we measured it from all the way back there. So I'm actually really happy here with the GPS. Not so happy with that last shot though. We got to get up and down here for a par. Looking at the scorekeeping functions of this watch, you can see it defaults to par there with 2 putts. I did have a par, although I only had 1 putt, so I can scroll down and hit 1 and hit save. And then it's gonna ask us, did we hit the fairway? Yes, I did. You get a nice green check mark there, hit save, and now we are good to go. Again, you can see this next hole is 339. It's a short par 4. Let's see if we can birdie this one, guys. All right, guys, well, after a good drive in the middle, not long again, but good position. On the rangefinder, I'm getting 135, and it is a front pin. On the watch here, I've got 120 to the front, 138 to the middle. So probably 10 yards off the front. I'd say that's probably about right. So again, distance is pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit 9-iron here, and we're really gonna attack this pin. Well, good for distance, but I push it just a little bit. So we're kind of like middle part of the green, middle front, and we do have the flat stick in our hands, so time to make a birdie here. Now that I'm on the green, I can see that that really is a middle pin, and I would say it is 10 yards off the front here. So I gotta say, pretty impressed really with the GPS accuracy here of the Bushnell. I got the speed right, but just didn't give it enough room. And that's boring par golf, guys. But you don't watch this show to see the fireworks, do you? Or do you? Let's try to get a birdie here next time. Now, one thing this watch doesn't do, which I really wish it did, would be to prompt me to actually enter my score. That would really save a lot of time and prevent a guy like me who forgets. It would prevent me from forgetting to enter the score in. Hit that E button. I did have a 4, it was 2 putts. We'll hit save. Now again, if I did hit the fairway there, but if I didn't, I could choose either left or right, but I did hit center fairway there, and I'm gonna save that. Now, unlike the Garmin that asks you when you're entering the hole data if you hit any hazards or if you had any penalty strokes, this one doesn't ask you that, but it is keeping track of fairways hit, greens in regulation, and of course your score, which is the main stuff, obviously, but it would be nice to keep those hazards and give you a better picture of how many strokes you took out on the course. All right, we've got a tough par 4 here. This one is long, narrow. It's gonna take 2 good shots, so wish me luck. Now, in terms of responsiveness, a flick of the wrist is what engages that. You can set this watch to go up to 60 seconds before it times out. I think I have this one set to either 15 or 30 seconds right now, but if it goes black and you need to get it back, it's just a flick of the wrist to get that back on, just like how an Apple Watch works or most of the smartwatches. I would say it's fairly responsive, not incredibly responsive, but fairly responsive to my wrist movements. Now, because this course always does back, middle, front, and they rotate pins, I know this is a front pin. I've got 155 to the front on the watch, 167 to the middle on the watch. So let's see what the rangefinder tells me. To the flag stick, 162, so exactly what I would expect. I'm gonna go 7-iron here, and hopefully we got a birdie in us. No more of these boring pars. Pretty good strike. It's looking like it's going right at it. And I came up just a little bit short there. Air is pretty heavy right now with this hurricane coming. In fact, I looked at the humidity, it was 98%. So even though it's nice and cool down here, it's like 75 degrees, it's still muggy. Really muggy, and the ball's just not traveling. So it is a frontish pin. It's kind of middle-ish front again, so I'd say that GPS is really good. We got a little chip shot to play here. Hopefully we do what we did on the first hole. That is pretty good, guys. That's another kick in. So boring parts is what you're gonna get here today. Guys, if you are considering this Bushnell Ion Elite, there's only one place on the internet to buy it. That's my friends at playbetter.com, home of the best pricing on the internet. You're always gonna get the lowest pricing on any golf technology available at playbetter.com. They're also gonna give you free 48-hour shipping across the continental United States. And they're more than just golf, guys. They also do skiing, running, cycling, all sorts of outdoor adventure sports. I've got a link down below in the description to this watch. Go ahead and click that. And of course, when you do it, help support Let's Play Through. I actually missed one of these the other day, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually take my time. You can't ever take those for granted, guys, but that is a par. 3 pars, 3 holes, 3 pars. So guys, would I recommend this watch and who would I recommend it for? Yes, I would. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 4 out of 5 stars. For the price point, it's really a solid unit. It's a no frills, gets the job done golf smartwatch. It's not going to give you some of the next level features you would get out of some of the higher tiered watches, but it's also going to be much better and give you a much better screen than some of the really budget watches out there. It sits at a great price point of $199 right now at retail as this thing has just been released. And I think if you just want something no nonsense, no fuss, it's a really good option for you. A couple of positives I would say is the screen. I think the screen is really nice and bright and clear. The distances, which is really the heart and soul of this watch, seem to be extremely spot on to me. What I do wish would change, of course, are just some of those little software tweaks, like I'd love for you to be able to walk off the hole and it prompt you for the score. I'd also like a little bit better battery charger. It just doesn't quite connect easily. You've got to fiddle with it a little bit. You've got to be really careful you don't knock it off your bedstand or wherever you charge your battery because the connection's not super, super tight. Just little things, but if you can get over those things, I think this is a really great watch. As I mentioned before, there's a link down in the description if you want to buy it. And guys, if you are on the hunt for something from Bushnell and maybe a watch isn't for you, this rangefinder just might be. It's pretty awesome. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one and I'll catch you back here very soon, hopefully, on another edition of Let's Play Through.